Oh no, Britney flag! Hey, they're getting close! Come on! You got right, fat dude! This is America! Piggies, go home!
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you are tuning in. My name is Jonathan Torres-Herrera, and you are watching or listening to the JTH show. Today, let's talk about why did Seth Rogen, the comedian, attack Ted Cruz, Proud Boys not so proud of Trump, and where was Antifa on Inauguration Day? But first, roll the intro. All right, thank you for coming back to watch one of these episodes. We do them just for you, and if you're new here, we do these episodes where we catch up people on current events, news, and anything that's really going on in the world, including any suggested topics. If you want to leave anything in the comment section. Now, if you cannot catch the episode here on YouTube, you can catch them on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Radio Public. Now, if you can also do one more little thing for us, and that is hitting the like button, it really, really helps us. Right, Josh?
Yes, indeed it does. So with that in mind, let's get straight into it, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that. So today in the news, we have first article out here out of Breitbart. Headline, Ted Cruz fires back at, quote, rich, angry Hollywood celebrity. Seth Rogen after actor says, F off, you fascists. So, walk us through that. What is going on?
Yeah, let's get into the story. So, the star of Disney's The Lion King, Seth Rogen, and a bunch of other stoner comedies, if you've been watching him for the past 20 years or so, he's been hurling unhinged and profane rants at Ted Cruz, calling him a fascist after the Texas senator called out President Joe Biden for rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement. So what's the climate agreement, you ask? Well, basically, it's something that the UN has just to try and tackle climate change. So if you don't remember, about 4 years ago, Trump decided to leave that agreement. I'm not actually sure why he chose to leave that agreement. It was quite controversial at the time, wasn't it, JT? You were there in the States when it happened, obviously.
Yeah, my understanding is that it was something along the lines of him not being happy with how much money the U.S. was pouring into the agreement, much like other stuff he also took us away from, or deals he broke up. He broke up while his time as president. But yeah, that's my understanding at least.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, that's basically it. But let's get straight into the chisme or the Twitter rant. So Cruz tweeted on Wednesday, by rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement, President Joe Biden indicates he's more interested in the views of the citizens of Paris than in the jobs of the citizens of Pittsburgh. This agreement will do little to affect the climate and will harm the livelihoods of Americans. So that's what he tweeted. And then Seth Rogen, the comedian, he replied, off, you fascist. Okay. I mean, I don't know why he's gone in with the fascist thing. I think it's kind of like he's gone in there trying to, very populist kind of stance, you know what I mean? It's like Ted Cruz is a Republican and therefore a fascist.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I think that's the popular comeback sometimes, to tell someone, like you said, that's a Republican or conservative, to call them a fascist, right? Now, I unfortunately do not know enough of the Paris, agreement to be able to say, we shouldn't have left in the first place, or if we should go back in or whatever, right? The question, I guess, that I would have for Rogen himself is, well, what's your stance on the agreement, right? Instead of just tweeting something as simple as F off, you fascists. It's like, at least give us some context, right? Especially to all your audience, because he does, by the way, he does have a pretty big audience on many platforms. It's like, explain why. That's the thing that a lot of these celebrities or influencers, I always, say the same thing against, which is they love to put these like one-liners with zero context as to why they're saying it.
Mm-hmm.
So what
Exactly,
did
yeah.
Cruz respond? What did he say?
Oh, Cruz actually, he kind of mopped the floor with him with that response. He just said, charming, civil, and educated response. And then he went on to say, if you're a rich, angry Hollywood celebrity, today's Dems are the party for you. If you're blue collar, if you're a union member, if you work in the energy or manufacturing industry, not so much. So yeah, he kind of he really took the high road on that one, and it kind of paid off for him. I mean, I'm no fan of Ted Cruz, but he responded in the perfect way. It's like I don't know, it was a very childish thing for Seth Rogen to say. But then Seth Rogen, he carried on and he said, "Ha ha, get effed, fascist. Go encourage a white supremacist insurrection again, you effing clown."
Yeah.
Okay.
What a great comeback, by the way. Yeah, I mean, listen, to anybody, has been watching the show for a while, you'll know that I'm not a big supporter of the very, very wealthy. Celebrities like Seth Rogen, are very, very wealthy, very much so,
Mm-hmm.
And while they, I'm sure, maybe some of them had good intentions or, as much as you can say, good intentions are. For the vast majority of them, what the hell are they talking about? They are not like us. Us in terms of middle class or anybody really that's not, elite, rich, right? Even someone that says, "Oh, JT, what are you talking about? I'm not poor. I have $300,000 in the bank, 400,000, 500,000." You're not an elite. You're not, someone like Seth Rogen. You are very much like us. And for that matter, anybody that's not saying something like that will understand that usually, right? Usually these elites, and celebrities and influencers, they do it or they say, they do what they do and say what they say because, they think their followers, right? People like us, not them, right? Are going to applaud them and say, "Oh my God, he's fighting for the little guy." Right. Again, never giving any context. If you look at the exchange here, yes, it is Twitter. I understand some of you guys will say, "Come on, JT, there's only so many things you can say on Twitter, so many characters." Still, if you're gonna pick a fight, right? Especially someone like Ted Cruz, make sure you know where to punch. I will say this: someone even like Cardi B, which I never thought I would be saying this. At least when she goes on these rants, she tries her best, right? She really does, I can tell, to really bring forth some facts, right? As to, what her questions are. Like when she went on the whole rant about like where the taxes are going, the money, and she, again, she tries to at least do some homework, right? Even though they are still rants, right? And again, this is also another celebrity, very much up there, a famous rapper, with a lot of money. Here you have this celebrity like Seth Rogen, in my opinion, really is to be relevant for today. Does he have a movie coming out? Which is, by the way, a question that I ask myself now. I wonder if he has a movie coming out in the next year, in the next 6 months even, right? And that's why he wants to have his name, circulating among Twitter and all these other platforms. And it's a shame because while, I don't know that he has ever done any profounding roles. I do enjoy the occasional mind-numbing stupidity, of movies that he makes. I do.
Sure.
Once in a while, I don't mind to just watch something that I'm like, well, I'm never gonna get those 2 hours back. So I don't totally not, like his work, but it's disappointing, that this is what he chooses to participate in. So, anyways, but whatever. What else can we say, right, about celebrities fighting, the good fight?
Well, yeah, they're kind of up in their bubble, I mean, whether it's Ellen DeGeneres, who said like it feels like a prison to be locked up there in the Hollywood Hills, or it's Seth Rogen, pretty much doing what is like the political version of "I know you are, but what am I?" kind of thing. That kind of level, so low tier, just basically not backing up anything, just like, "Oh, fuck you, man," or something like that. It's like, yeah, I like any kind of like respect I did have for the guy or the work that he has done, it's kind of like it's just been taken down a peg.
Yeah,
or two.
I mean, I guess at the same time, if you look at it from this stance, I mean, who could possibly be, Seth Rogen's fan base? Or who does he consider?
Yeah.
Right? So maybe those are the perfect comebacks. Maybe, right? I'm picturing in my head for what he thinks his fan base will see as like, yeah, you tell him. It's a lot like what they say all the time about Trump, right? When Trump says stupid things like, especially when he's having debates and he, has like these stupid one-liners, right? With other people he's debating, like, not true.
You are fake news.
Exactly. Shit like that. Everybody, what did people do? Yeah, his fan base, right? Yeah, you tell him that was so strong. That's what I feel in my head, by the way, or I think in my head rather that that they're saying, because he knows his fan base, and in this case, Seth Rogen, I would say, is probably right along the same lines. That's his fan base. I don't think the fans, as an example, follow. I don't know, someone, is considered a scholar or something, would follow Seth Rogen, right? So I think it goes hand in hand. So whatever, man.
Yeah, but it's not. Sorry, it's not really interesting to write about, though, is it? They need someone who says stupid stuff because it's good to write articles about,
Yeah. Pity. All right, man. So let's move on to the next one. And for this one, headline: New York Times, a total failure. The Proud Boys now mock Trump. Duh, is what I say. No. What a shit show. Let's be honest.
Yep.
Right? We've had here the Proud Boys for some time now, right? Put Trump as kind of like their savior or their second coming. I don't know. But what I guess I feel almost sympathetic for them, like, damn, you guys were out there, really rooting for the guy, and now you guys have to come out, with your tail between your legs, and say, he kind of abandoned us, he let us down. What do you think was going to happen? I think for the longest time, and I said it in previous shows, the guy, outside of his recent politics and his recent antics, has been known for many years, decades, in fact, for being a guy that if the cards are low, he pulls out and he either does some form of bankruptcy, right, or he's just a guy that doesn't stick to his guns, especially as he's losing. So what did the Proud Boys expect? But what did the article actually say?
Members of the far-right group, who were among Donald Trump's strongest supporters, are calling him weak, as more of them were charged for storming the Capitol, which happened a couple of weeks ago now. After the presidential election last year, the Proud Boys, a far-right group, declared its undying loyalty to President Trump. Well, yeah, undying. It's wrong, bad, poor choice of words, I would say.
Yeah.
But there you go. Okay. In the November 8th post in a private channel for the messaging app Telegram, the group urged its followers to attend protests against an election that it said had been fraudulently stolen from Mr. Trump. Hail Emperor Trump, the Proud Boys wrote. Okay. Yeah, very democratic of you. For a country that's always fighting for freedom, right?
Yeah, that's embarrassing. That's I would feel embarrassed. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah. But they've kind of decided to say he's not one of us anymore. So to hell with that guy and that kind of thing. So because actually, Trump left the White House, so he played by the rules for once, and they didn't like that.
Which I gotta say, to be fair, right? Credit where, in my opinion at least, where credit is earned. I know a lot of people are of that mindset of like, kind of what we talked about in the previous show, never to ever give credit to Trump about anything. If anything, again, he should go throw himself off a cliff, is what I feel a lot of people are thinking. And, while that I think that is, ridiculous, I will say that what many alleged, these conspiracy, I don't know, believers and like even the Proud Boys here, as they're, the New York's article is saying, Trump kind of let them down for good, and saying, I'm not gonna form some kind of coup to stay in power. I'm gonna go with like you said, with the rules, and I'm gonna leave. Did he attend, Joe Biden's inauguration? No. Quite frankly, I don't give a shit. I know it's like that's tradition, and same thing like we've been clowning on Melania, right, for not giving a tour to Joe Biden.
Right.
Yes, tradition is important, and they should have. But you know what? It's not the end of the world. At this point, the guy's like, "You guys want me out, right? Then I'm leaving." In my head, I'm like, "Good, that's it. Be done with it." He didn't go to the inauguration. Did it stop it? No. Joe Biden didn't get a tour by Melania. Did she get, is she lost in the White House? I highly doubt so. I highly doubt. So, if anything, again, people should be happy, that he let his supporters down, part of them being, the Proud Boys here, who literally went as far as saying, "Hail Emperor Trump." Jesus, man. Talk about some like North Korea shit right there.
Yeah, I know. But I don't think we should ever expect anything traditional from the old Trump camp. But anyway, as the as the Proud Boys said, or in the article it said, this week Trump will go down as a total failure. The Proud Boys have actually said in the same Telegram channel, and that happened on Monday. So yeah, they're really letting him have it. So the Proud Boys' anger towards Mr. Trump heightened after he did not help any of the group who face legal problems or legal action due to the violence in the Capitol, including Proud Boy leader Joseph Biggs, 37 years old, who was arrested in Florida with unlawful entry and corruptly obstructing an official proceeding in the riot. At least 4 other members of the group also face charges stemming from the attack. So,
well, I guess them and the Tiger King are bummed out because Trump didn't include him in their the pardons and the clemency list. What did they expect? This is a guy who will probably try. I say probably because it is nothing is certain, right? He hasn't declared necessarily that he will be running in 4 years. So probably, be running depending on what happens between now and 4 years from now. So if he were to say, "Hey, I'm going to go ahead and pardon people that try to do this insurrection, including some of these Proud Boys," that is not going to look good. Right, when he tries to run again, because if another similar plan is executed again, he can hurt himself by people saying, "Oh, well, next time they try to storm the Capitol or storm any federal building for that matter, well, we know what's going to happen. Trump's going to just pardon them." So Trump is watching out for his own ass. Period. Right, and again. What a bunch of dumbasses to believe that Trump would be like, I'm going to pardon you and make myself look like everything I've been trying to say for the last 2 weeks that I am not, which is in support of this, riot or insurrection or whatever, right? While he did try to kind of like, what he always does, which is, egg on people and say, "Hey, how dare they say this? And, we really should be doing this and thinking like this." His way out is always and will always be, "I didn't say to do it. I didn't say to do it." Right? So him now, not bailing these Proud Boys is a way for him to say, "See, I wasn't with it. They did it on their own merit. I never told them to storm the Capitol." So
yeah, he might be an idiot, but he's no fool.
Exactly, right? So yeah, I mean, sorry, Proud dudes. Looks like you guys are gonna have to pay for your crimes. And speaking about crimes, let's move on to our last story. Yeah, sorry. That's gonna be you guys in prison all the way. Is coming out of the Western Journal, and that is an article that I found interesting. Antifa Inauguration Day rampage leaves trail of destruction. So the article here adds that the far left extremists, according to this news publication, movement known as Antifa rampaged through Denver, Seattle, and Portland, Oregon on Wednesday after President Joe Biden was sworn in as the 46th president of the United States. Between 40 and 50 so-called anti-fascist protesters gathered at the Colorado State Capitol building and began burning a flag. At around 12:45 p.m., an officer with the Colorado State Patrol told Newsweek law enforcement officials were seen monitoring the scene and extinguished the flames about 15 minutes later. There's, I guess, somebody that tweeted this out. Spencer Wilson said, okay, so things have changed a bit. Large groups of anti-fascist protesters rolled up, took a photo, and started burning a few flags. Law enforcement came up, extinguished the flags, then the protesters started fires back up. Cops backed off. So this is what I'm going to say about this, man, which it really pisses me off to see that even after, I don't know how many months of so many people saying, oh, as soon as, Trump is out, it's like white flag. We're all good. It's all going to be gravy. You'll see. A lot of these protests are happening in the streets, whether it be BLM, led or Antifa led or whatever other, so-called leftist group led will be done. Everybody will go home. Everything will be good. We just won Trump out. Trump and his cronies out of Washington. He's out, right? Biden, in fact, this week, obviously this week, fired somebody that actually refused to leave, right? To quit. That was a Trump appointee. I'm not sure what his name is or whatever his role is, but I just saw it in a headline. So that tells me that Biden is doing exactly what a lot of groups, voiced their opinion should be done when he became president, which is to, what do they call it with the swamp? Drain the swamp, drain the swamp and get everybody that Trump appointed out of there. And basically everything Trump was, get it out of there and make it all good and rainbows and unicorns. And then literally the day of the inauguration, we have this crap, right? Which goes to show what I have also been saying for I don't know how long, which I know some of you guys are probably going to agree with me, which is bullshit, right? Complete BS that as soon as someone like Biden got elected, or at the time even people were throwing names around like Bernie, oh, don't worry. As soon as any of these guys get elected at, our guys, everything will be peaceful because we no longer have the evil clown in the White House. And then this shit happens, which again, man, it's infuriating because I don't believe, as I've said before, that these type of demonstrations, which then turn into riots, will stop. They're not going to. And if you believe that they are, I don't know where you're living. I don't know what magical land you're living. Honestly, it's not because I don't want them to stop. It's not even because, I don't have no hopes for the American people. No, it's because people have agendas, and those agendas are very, separated from actual politics. It's more like what I want to happen in my, state, in my community, whatever, right? Whether or not they go with the actual political agenda, whether or not they reflect, views of the left or the right. This group that did this, why did they do it? To send their message of their agenda, which clearly has nothing to do whether we have a Republican president or a Democratic president.
Well, yeah, that's the problem working with a two-party. It's a two-party state, right? The U.S.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much for the most part.
Yeah, I guess it's more or less the same in the UK, but it's the two main parties again being more conservative or more liberal, being Labour. But there's just no pleasing some people, man. There's just no pleasing some people.
It's one of those things that unfortunately, again, only a few of us will see past the bullshit, right? We'll see past the the headlines or the simple crappy tweets like the Seth Rogens of the world will out in an attempt to really blindfold you into thinking this is only about getting Trump out of the White House. This was, in my opinion, never really fully about getting Trump out of the White House. This was in part, sure, I can believe it, but not fully. Not that wasn't the whole story, right? We're gonna continue having, unfortunately, maybe less. By the way, I guess I'll say that maybe less, but we're gonna continue seeing these protests, like I said, that will turn into riots, and it's gonna come down to us really realizing and stopping and thinking the next time a friend or even a coworker or someone tries to incite us into saying, come on, let's go. We're going to just totally go and do a demonstration and ask, why are we going? What is it exactly that you're trying to change, right? Because we got the ugly clown out of the White House. So what is it that we're trying to do now? Now, I will, I guess, finish with this. Just because Biden is in the White House, do I think that everything is fixed? No, I've also said that before. Absolutely not. In fact, right before he got, confirmed, I said it's just, in my eyes, just another rich white man that is, again, going to take the quote unquote most important seat in the world, right? Or position or whatever. No, it's not going to be fixed because this is not about a single man, right? This is not about a single party fixing anything. This is about really more of us that see true light in the center coming together and not letting the left or the right kind of like drag us along in with their biases and with their agendas. Is really seen joining. And I think, by the way, people like us are growing, and I think over the next few years are going to be the majority, right? Those people that will no longer be influenced by A or B and being forced and bullied into choosing to be A or B, at least here in the States. And I hope it spreads worldwide. And we actually sit down and think about things critically and say, hold on, I see the BS you're trying to feed me. So these are your valid points. Next. All right, what are your valid points? All right, this is actually where I stand, right? Instead of being labeled with an R or a D or a color, red or a blue. That's what I'll say with this, is that I think there's going to be more of us. They're not going to go out and burn flags because at the end of the day, like you said in a couple episodes ago, it doesn't mean anything. You're not getting any point across by burning a stupid flag or when the Proud Boys burned a banner for BLM. You're morons, right? That's just my point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've really hit the nail on the head on that one. I think the key to any kind of society is just, like you said, being able to listen to each other and actually learn how to compromise. Learning how to compromise with each other. You can't make everybody happy, but we could at least make everyone at least 50% happy, which is like the best that we could hope for. In the end, there's still going to be bigots. There's still going to be racists. There's still going to be leftists. There's still going to be socialists. There's going to be all manner of people which are not going to be fully satisfied. But in the end, that's what society is. That's why we have cities. We group together. Human beings are social creatures, and we just have to learn how to live with each other, and that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And with that is actually it. I think that's the last of our stories. Yeah, guys. I mean, I hate to end some of these shows on such a low, energy or kind of like doom kind of mood. I really don't mean to, but a lot of the times, we feel like we need to bring you guys some of these stories that you should be hearing, right? That maybe you missed because maybe you guys are watching the next season of The Bachelor or whenever The Apprentice is going to be back on TV. But, if you are watching these shows, obviously we appreciate it, and we appreciate that you guys take time to listen, to other people's points of views, right? And it's healthy. Trust me. I say it all the time. It is healthy to get one out of your own head, and two, to listen to people that are maybe not in your immediate group of like individuals, right? Like, family sometimes and really close friends. It is good sometimes. I do it all the time myself. I do this show, but I go on and watch, and I name drop countless people that I actually go and watch from all sides of life, all walks of life, right? Because At the end of the day, I think that's what's going to grow this community of people that are I don't know if I want to give it a name necessarily, but more on the center. You want to say centrist, whatever, but more balanced people, right? That's the key there. Balanced individuals. And that we start by watching, shows just like this one, right? Just like this one we put together for you guys. So thank you for watching as always. I think that's it. Josh, you have anything else?
No, I think that's pretty much it. Like you said, well, if you guys have anything else to say, send us a message, comment, email, carrier pigeon, crow, whatever you like, send it in.
Send us a raven. Yeah, I've been watching too much Game of Thrones. All right, guys. Thanks. That'll be all for today. And until next time, see ya. Hey, thanks for watching the JTH show. Remember, you can catch all the episodes, full episodes, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Radio Public. You can also visit www.thejthshow.com to catch episodes there and to catch anything that we had to blur out because of YouTube or any other platform. We usually put all of our raw information in there that is uncensored. You can also become a member at www.thejthshow.com to catch all the special perks. Thanks for watching.